Welcome back to Let's Play Higurashi Meakashi. As January slowly closes and February is soon to come around the corner, and yet the other rocks are still not released. Seriously. Click. Has to click there. I'm not gonna have 3 in a row that I've had that same background. Fitting, because it's 3 weeks in a row and my sleeping pattern is just not there, and I end up freaking missing college again. At least I went in yesterday, so there was that. And in a kind of ironic way, it was because of that I end up not being able to get any sleep last night until the morning, because I was thinking, okay, I got a project that we gotta be working on, right? What should I do for my project? What kind of thing should I do? Should it be music related, language related? What should I do? And my mind was going over ideas after ideas the whole night, and I couldn't sleep. So it's just damn it! That's 3 weeks now! I honestly dread freaking next time I actually do go there. I'd be okay, the project thing I can kind of probably get in with, I suppose. I can probably move along with that one, you know, but the math, oh god, the math. God knows what I freaking missed. Just okay, we've gone over a lot of subjects, so, fuck. We can't do a recap of 3 weeks in one lesson. It's because it's an all-day thing on that one. This is really just doesn't fit with my sleeping pattern, which is, all over the place usually. It's hard to sleep at night when you have to be up the next day. I always find it difficult sleeping through the night. It's whenever I sleep for a night, I'll find myself waking up from, say, a vivid nightmare that feels days have passed, and yet they only be 4 hours or some shit. Anyway, let's get a word out of the day quickly. We will go with... Well, that's an odd one. Jishin. Self-confidence, but, again, with different kanji characters, it could also be an earthquake, or it could be for a suffix of some sort preceding a noun to add the sense of self, which I suppose kind of relates to the self-confidence one there. In fact, it's got the same character, just the second character is different. While the earthquake one has 2 distinctly different kanji characters. Japanese is confusing. Anyways. You don't believe in it, right? Believe in what? In Oyashiro-Sama's curse. What are you talking about, Satoshi-kun? Oyashiro-Sama curses those who leave the village, right? That's the rule. Every kid in the village knows that. That's the rule. What's that suddenly? Are you planning to leave? No, I was kidding. I wanted him to deny it. I'm not thinking about that anymore. He admitted that he had thought of it. I guess Rena told me that much. That's good. So you're not leaving the village? No, but I haven't been forgiven yet. Eh? Satoshi-kun tried to say something but hesitated. He was breathing so heavily. Was he sick? Hey, do you feel alright, Satoshi-kun? Sorry, I'm fine. I guess you're tired. I think you should get some rest. You sound distinctly more sickly from when this conversation had started. He breathed heavily when punctuating his words. Satoshi-kun repeated his question. Mion, I'll ask you one more time. Do you believe in Oyashiro-Sama's curse? What did he want me to say? Could I make him feel relieved with my answer? How should I respond? The answer was simple. There's no curse. There can't possibly be. I don't know what was bothering him, but I wanted to make him feel better by laughing his worries away. Satoshi-kun instead fell silent. I couldn't tell if he was happy with my answer or not. One thing was certain, I didn't make him feel any better. I think I know what this is all about. Sorry that I asked such a weird question. Sorry. I felt like I let him down, so I apologized in a rush. Whether it's a real curse or somebody's conspiracy, I won't disappear and I won't fall victim to it. You won't disappear? No. Not until I buy that teddy bear. I'll get the money pretty soon. I won't go anywhere until then. He chuckled. I knew he was trying to relieve me, but it worked the opposite way. He sounded as though he didn't care what would happen after he bought the teddy bear. Oh, my aunt is home. I have to go. Okay. Mion. Huh? Even though he wanted to hang up the phone because of his aunt coming back, Satoshi-kun took a breath to tell me something important. I'll leave Satoko to you. I should have said yes right away, but I still couldn't forgive Satoko, so I just kept quiet. Forget what I said. Bye. Oh, he was obviously disappointed. What had I done? I wanted to apologize. I wished I could, but it was too late. The dial tone left no doubt. No, that was depressing. Higurashi, when they cry. New tip, a torn diary. We've had nothing but diaries. Achievement unlocked. Plea ignored. You ignored Satoshi's plea, and you claim to love him. Do you, Shion? Yet you deny him this wish. Lies. Uzada! It's because she hates Satoko, because of the, fact that it's like led to all this stress and all that shit, and she sees her as the one to blame and shit. Do 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 do. Oh, I see. This background here, it's like the book is placed on either a painted log or one type of fruit that I'm not sure the name of. Totally looks like it. In fact, I think I might have had that fruit just the other day, I think. And I can't even remember what it's called. I think it's a type of melon. I don't know. Somebody whispered to me from behind, "Hey, bitch!" And that's all they said. No. They told me that I was going to be the victim of the curse this year. Oh, wait. This is a tip, so it must be from Satoshi's perspective. So I'm going to disappear soon. There'll be nobody left to care of Satoko. Somebody whispered to me from behind, "Hey, Satoshi! Satoshi!" They told me that I don't have much time. You don't have much time? No, they wouldn't sound like that. It's like the whole thing, it all makes sense. Eventually. Of course, with, the fact that there's still no further answer arcs released yet. Could be a long time before that, even with my freaking pacing of this LP and shit. Anyways, all that I haven't said myself for much longer. So I had to make the best of the days I had lived. So what could I leave for Satoko? She wanted that huge teddy bear. She wanted a peaceful life in which nobody would bully her. I whispered to the person at my back, "Bestow your violent nature and formidable strength upon me. I want your peaceful mind, filled with hatred." Do. The day of the Watanagashi Festival, June 20th, 1982, 1:40 p.m. So, the Watanagashi festival is on the 20th of June. Has it ever been revealed up until this point? What was I doing today? Nothing in particular. Nothing at all. I just wanted to play hooky. I woke up in the afternoon. I ate instant food for lunch while watching boring TV programs. Had a light headache, so I lay down on the sofa. I wouldn't wake up again if I went to sleep. Whatever. I decided to sleep. I'd already told Sis that Satoshi-kun had already asked her... had asked her to look after Satoko. I didn't have to do anything myself. I fell asleep through my head, though my head was aching a little bit. That would be all I'd have to deal with. June 20th, 1982, 5:22 p.m. The aunt believed that all the villagers frowned upon her because her brother-in-law and his wife were pro-dam activists. She surely experienced some fallout during the time of the dispute, but people had stopped looking coldly upon her, even though she assumed otherwise. She was paranoid, believing that all the villagers hated her, and so she decided to hate them back. Her attitude, of course, begot hatred from the villagers, and the situation became exactly the way she thought it was from the start. I wonder with this if the aunt wasn't always a complete bitch, I suppose. I don't know. What came first, their poor relationships with the neighbors, or her husband's affair? She didn't know herself. Her husband claimed that he got a lover because he was fed up with her attitude. She in turn claimed that the relationship with the neighbors went south because her husband had damaged their reputation. Only Satoshi was aware that both happened at almost the same time. Their quarrels had become a daily routine now. When the husband came home late, the wife would shout at him at the entrance. So she wondered why they didn't get a divorce, the marriage being as rotten as it was. I was thinking the same thing. It's just... I don't know. Basically knew the reason for that too. It was the fortune his parents had left. Oh, his aunt had hidden their bank book and and never allowed her husband access to him. So she's a gold digger! So her husband would search the house for them. She'd find out he stole some money from her purse. So it'd cause yet another fight. So they are equally shitty people, regardless. But to what extent? Well, we've seen how shitty the uncle can be, but we haven't really gotten much insight until now for the aunt. So she had never been aware that his parents had that much money when they were alive. After their death, however, one of his relatives told him. He was informed that his parents had left a large sum of money in some bank account. So she couldn't understand why they had that kind of money, because his family had been, as far as he knew, poor. It was because of the dam project. His parents probably got the money in return for the cooperation with the government. They had strived to get more villagers on their side, provided information to them and whatnot. The money was probably compensation for their efforts. His aunt and uncle never had any intention to adopt them until they heard about the money. After someone from some financial institution revealed its existence, they appeared to adopt Satoko and Satoshi. The couple would fight every day. Eventually, Satoshi's uncle started spending more time at his mistress's home. He realized that he had no reason to return to his own home, because he'd just end up in a fight with his wife if he did. When he stopped coming home, Satoshi felt relieved. Now their uncle nor their aunt treated the two siblings very well. Satoshi's aunt wouldn't have to vent her frustration upon them. The reason the couple fought was their corrupted relationship, so if they separated, there wouldn't be any more fights. Satoshi had fought that at first. But, even separate, they're shitty people. But even after they separated, his aunt still had a short temper. An old woman had stolen her husband. Villagers must have been talking behind her back. It was mortifyingly embarrassing. Since she lost an opponent to fight, Satoshi's aunt directed hatred towards the siblings. So she had been observing her. He learned when she would get upset and how to avoid her attention. He managed to get by without upsetting her by turning a keen eye to her behavior and avoiding conflicts. But Satoko couldn't do that. She hated her aunt and didn't even try to hide it. well, she's not mature enough to really, observe these things and actually plan around it. But that really shows Satoshi is like it's pointed out, isn't it? He's kind of a klutz, but he has a kind of matureness to him at the same time. So she told her to behave in their aunt's presence, but his eyes were always filled with hatred. So she arrived to reduce the conflict between them as much as possible. He stepped in to mend their relationship. It was a heavy burden for him, though, because he was still just a boy. He bore so much he covered for his little sister by lying and maneuvering. He tried to maintain a tangible sense of peace, but he couldn't do that forever. The relationship between Satoko and her aunt had already spiraled out of control. So she found something in the trash. Probably wasn't a legitimate place for trash disposal. If it was, sanitation workers would come and pick it up. He passed by this street all the time, so he noticed when there were new things dumped there. He found a plain-looking desk of the kind likely to be seen in offices. Someone must have dumped it within the past few days. His aunt liked to bring usable trash home. She'd had Satoshi help bring a chest home just a few days ago. If he told her about the desk, she'd want it. His aunt hated to find bugs and garbage in the drawers, so she'd always open them to check before carrying the thing home. So she opened all the drawers, all of which were empty. After that, he turned around and walked for about 5 steps. He was standing in a knee-high bush. There he laid something he'd been carrying all the time, until today. It'd be very hard to find unless he specifically knew it was there to begin with. Looking satisfied, Satoshi looked around for some landmark to remember the place by. Can you guess what that object's going to turn out to be? June 20th, 1982, 5:51 p.m. Who's speaking here? Okay, that's definitely Mion then. Hey old pal, I see you showed up again this year. You'd better get ready for us. You're as peppy as ever. Oh, is she a newcomer? This is Ren Ryugu. Don't underestimate her, she's good.
No, I'm not. Nice to meet you.
Maybe, I don't know. Just assume it's one of the stall keepers. Yo, you too, I've brought all kinds of prizes this year. There'll be a real bellwin. Yeah, that is. Try and take them all with you if you can.
Rena tends to dote on cute things, cute stuff.
Yeah, that stuffed animal looks just like her type.
Oh, what? Oh, so cute! I want to take it home with me!
I mean, I occasionally do that even when Ren is not actually in a scene, but it's been so long since she's actually said that. Hey, the booth isn't open yet. Whoa! Stop it, Renna. He says the booth isn't open yet. You can run him into the ground once he opens it up.
Oh, it's mine! I'm taking it home!
Renna lost her marbles over the stuffed animal. Everybody laughed. Everybody except Satoko. She was standing by herself some distance from the crowd. Her eyes looked dull.
Meep. What is it, Rika?
Rika walked up to Satoko, smiling ear to ear in an effort to cheer up.
Forget your worries today. Let's just have fun.
Satoko looked down. Even if she got to have fun today, her circumstance at home wouldn't change.
Satoko, your evil aunt isn't around.
I know that.
So why don't you have fun? Nippa! Oh, sorry, but I don't feel like it. Could you please leave me alone? Why aren't you smiling?
Satoko slightly glimpsed at Rika. She gave her a look, as though she wanted to say that Rika should know the reason. Even if she could have fun today, nothing would change between her and her evil aunt. No matter how fun the festival was, once she went home, her aunt would be there. The aunt would find something wrong with Satoko, get mad, and shout at her so loudly that the neighbors would hear. How can she have fun even just for today while knowing all that? Satoko didn't say that out loud, but her eyes betrayed her emotions to Rika.
So, Satoko, if you're suffering ends today, will you smile?
Satoko gasped. She thought that Rika might do something to help, but soon after she realized that Rika was just trying to comfort her. Could her suffering end today? Because of Rika? How? Satoko knew that there was really nothing Rika could do. And so after just one moment of freedom, Satoko fell into depression again.
Rika, don't give me false hopes. Satoko.
Rika's voice was clearer than Satoko had ever heard before.
It's already been decided.
June 20th, 1982, 8:11 p.m. Satoshi snuck out the window after supper. He heard the distant ruckus of the festival. The festival would end at 9 p.m. After the Watanagashi festival, there was going to be a raffle drawing. So there were two types of people in Inamizawa: the people who would go home for dinner, and the ones who would stay until the raffle was over. Either relaxing at home or still at the festival. There were only those two patterns. On top of that, there weren't many neighbors in the vicinity of Satoshi's house. As a result, he found nobody on the streets. On that night, the small village seemed especially desolate. Satoshi knew it was going to be like this, but he would keep worrying until he saw it for himself. He was barefooted, but started running without hesitation. He felt as though he'd become a wild animal, running on his bare feet. He got the impression that he could run faster than usual. Not only his running ability, his vision, his hearing, and his sense of smell. All his senses were keener, including his sixth sense. He could almost sense the presence of people in the distance, if only when crouching like an animal. It felt strange, as though he had stepped into another world. He'd been feeling tense and anxious until today, battling with his own fear. But now he felt as though he had metamorphosed into a different person. June 20th, 1982, 8:37 p.m. Alright everyone, I'm going to explain how the raffle works. Please gather around the altar. The festival had reached its climax, the raffle was going to start. Wait. The women who were dancing and those who were waiting for the raffle gathered around the altar. So was that a woman that was speaking? I don't know. We don't get portraits for those. It's the first time they'd held a raffle. The planning committee decided to hold one from this year onward to attract more people to the festival. At first, the prizes were things the committee members had donated, but Oreo, not appreciating how pathetic it looked, had them thrown away. Oreo took the initiative and bought a brand new TV, a washing machine, a cooling fan, and all such things for the raffle. The committee wanted to keep it small initially, but it turned out big thanks to her. Oreo was upset because the committee members weren't enthusiastic enough in her opinion. Some of the members thought it would be very difficult to prepare prizes of equal value the following year, so this might be the very first and last raffle. Who's speaking now? Thanks to you, we have such wonderful prizes here, Oreo-san. They must have cost a lot, didn't they? We can refurbish you and burst you from our budget. For no point in refurbishing that. It was never about the money. Idiots. Idiots. Idiots! Oh no, don't say that. This raffle's all thanks to you, Oreo-san. It's not like I'm doing this all by myself. Don't be ridiculous. Thought she was going to tsundere thing there. It's like, no, that's not the reason, you idiots. It's not like I cared about you or anything. The Mayor Kimiyoshi was having a tough time pacifying Oreo. All of a sudden, one of the committee members burst into the tent in a rush. He looked upset, so Kimiyoshi assumed that somebody probably got hurt in an accident. What's going on, Makino-san? I hope you're not having a heart attack. Makino. Wasn't that the guy that was in Himatsubushi? Gave Akasaka a tour alongside Rika? I think that was that guy, wasn't it? Of course, he doesn't have a portrait, so it makes no difference. And heck, you got Kimiyoshi and Oreo, two very important characters. They don't have portraits either. Kimiyoshi made a joke to calm him down. Makino, however, still looked tense. He whispered something to Kimiyoshi. Even without hearing the exchange between Makino and Kimiyoshi, it was plain as day there was bad news. Oreo-san, I have unpleasant news, if you don't mind. Kimiyoshi, accompanied by Makino, moved to Orio's side and spoke in a very serious tone. Kimiyoshi whispered to her the exact same words Makino told him. Who's speaking now? Oh, okay. Oh dear, this is bad. It's unexpected. What happens thrice will happen a fourth time. That's not funny, Oreo-san. You're right, it isn't. It's just another hassle. The police are trying to identify the body. I heard that the face was completely destroyed, so it'll be difficult. It's quite clear who it is, though. Yeah? Do you know who it might be? Oreo glared at Kimiyoshi and started chuckling. Idiots! It must be some impudent land who didn't come to the Watanagashi festival. People who respect Oyashiro-Sama won't get involved in something like that. Oreo kept laughing. Kimiyoshi and Makino didn't know how to react to that. June 20th, 1982, 9:04 p.m. This is merciless. Kuma-chan, every death is merciless unless the death wished for. What? Dad wished for it. They have my condolences. How's it going over there? Did you find something that could identify the body? Forensic investigators shook their heads. The victim's wearing sandals and casual clothes. They must be from this neighborhood. We should be able to identify the corpse by asking around. That's the way we do it. The section manager says this case might become classified. So be careful with that. Gotcha. My guy. Gathered some officers and gave them directions. Dr. Erie has arrived. Doctor, it's over here. The young doctor got out of his car and headed in the victim's direction. Oh, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting. I had to help with a raffle. You must have drunk a lot at a festival, Doctor. Are you sure you're sober? Maybe I should run a breathalyzer test on you, just to be safe. I'm fine. My assistant is driving. Clever of you. Hey, let the doctor pass. There was an area cordoned off with blue plastic sheets. An officer rolled up the sheet and let Oishi and Irie pass. Forensic people are taking photos from many different angles. The blood splatters and the bloody sandals were left untouched, marked with chalk and indicated with small alphabetized flags. Now, if this was a traditional visual novel, we'd have a CG at this point, wouldn't we? I'm not used to seeing things like this. He took out a handkerchief and covered his nose. You should breathe through your mouth. Well, you might sense the smell visually, though. The body appeared to be that of a middle-aged woman. It was soaked in blood. It looked like a middle-aged woman because of the hair and what she was wearing. The reason why no one could be certain it was a middle-aged woman was because its face was completely pulverized. This is brutal. I'm sure it was done out of malice. The victim must have been murdered right here, judging from the pattern of the blood spatters and the soles of the sandals. Even though not many people take this road, the body's right in the middle of it. It's right in the middle of it. As very unusual to see a culprit who would bludgeon their victim until their face was completely destroyed. Also, can you look at her arms? She put on latex gloves and lifted the corpse's arm. See, spotless, aren't they? He's saying that the victim didn't try to protect her head, that there's no signs of struggle. Right you are. I think the victim lost consciousness with the first blow. Then the culprit kept beating to complete the murder. The victim was probably lying face down at that time, judging from the stains on her clothes.
This reminds me. It's just like, I can't remember. I think it was like, I've read a few cases like that. You know when you hear like of a murder that took place and it's like very brutal, like so brutal that you must think it's like whoever did this shit must have really freaking hated that person, and yet it just doesn't get solved, and it's like, who did it? Who could have done such brutal murder? I think it was this one I'm thinking of. It was infamous case in Finland, I think. I can't remember where in Finland or what the case was called, but it had quite a lot of controversy because, like, they'd, for example, they'd like sent a police officer undercover to date the wife of the deceased to try to get information and shit like that. So really sketchy shit and all that. I think that guy was also brutally killed in a fashion that indicates that whoever it was must have known the guy and hated him so much. So I suppose it makes sense they like thought it'd be the wife in that scenario. But man, the way they went about it, it's just like... And even then, it's just like, even with all that, it's like all this dodgy kind of undercover shit that they did, and they still can't really prove anything in that case. It just boggles the mind how shit like that happens. In this case, though, we know who did it. I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? Of course, they don't know. Yet. Maybe. Who knows? The body is face up now. The culprit seems to have flipped the victim over in order to smash her face even though by that point her death was certain. Irian looked like he was going to throw up, both because of the putrid smell and Oishi's reasoning. Smashing the victim's face is clearly a sign of a grudge in my experience. It's a very profound grudge too. That means the culprit must be someone very close to the victim. I understand you didn't call me to hesitate her. Doctor, do you know who the victim is? If you do, I don't have to waste time questioning the neighbors. He looked at the body once again. He looked away quickly and thought. Then after a while, Irie left the investigation area without saying anything. I'm sorry, I don't know. Are you sure? She smirked and looked into Irie's eyes, as though Irie was hiding something, which he probably is. He probably knows damn well who that is. I'm not hiding anything. I guess you're still under the influence, Doctor. Maybe you'll remember when you're sober. Let me know if you do. She tapped Irie on the back. The doctor, saying he wanted some fresh air, left the scene. Kumagai returned. We just signed the section manager is on the radio. The one in the first car. Irie lied. Nothing. Hurry up and question the neighbors. The victim must be from this area. June 20th, 1982, 9:39 p.m. Here he is, Oishi-san! Thank you for coming here this late at night. I know you have school tomorrow. I'm really sorry to bother you. No problem. Where's your father? My stepfather doesn't come home much. Aha! Since when? When did he come home last? I don't know. I heard he's living with a woman who works at a club in Lockdown or something. I don't remember exactly when, but I guess I saw him a few weeks ago. Aha! Do you have your father's address? No. He's living with a woman who works at a club. Do you know the name of the place? No. I know it's in Oktomir and that's all. What's your father's name? Teppei Hojo. Well, that's not his father. Well, I suppose adoptive, but it's technically the uncle. Wishi signaled Kumagai with his chin, who nodded while taking notes. Were your mother and father getting along well? I don't know much about that, but I don't think so. I see. What did you tell me honestly? Do you know anyone who might have been holding a grudge against your stepmother? I don't. Alright. Please let me know if you remember something. Here's my card. My number is on it. Okay. I might ask to see you again for further inquiries. If you see your stepfather, please let him know that we want to contact him. Kuma-chan, drive him home, will you? Oh, no. I can go home by myself. Please let us drive you home. There's a possibility that the culprit who murdered your aunt is roaming around the neighborhood. You might get hurt too. Thank you for your consideration, but really, I'm fine. Satoshi tried to reject the offer, but Oishi and Kumagai insisted. Maybe that previous line was actually Kumagai then. In the end, Satoshi was forced to accept. He turned around to leave, when Oishi spoke to him as if he remembered something he'd forgotten to say. Ojo-san! Yes? Don't worry. It's no problem. We'll catch the culprit soon. Do you have any leads? Yes, we do. Like what? That's confidential. Ordinary people might think that Oishi was trying to cheer the poor kid up with a joke. Well, usually people get pretty worked up when they commit murder. Though of course there are some exceptions. What kind of evidence do you find when the culprit's worked up? When somebody is in a very excited condition, their body shows many symptoms, like sweat, loss of hair. We often find the culprit's hair at crime scenes. Well, this is outside, so it's a bit different, but still. Did you find their hair? I don't know yet. The forensic guys are searching the scene right now. I'm anxious to see what they'll bring me. Excuse me, I have to go now. Please, Kuma-chan, would you? Sure. See you again soon, Hojo-san. I'll let you know if there's any progress in the investigation. Let me know when you remember something. Let's cooperate to catch the murderer of your stepmother. Shit's getting intense now, isn't it? Higurashi when they cry. Bap, bap. As that music has been playing for the majority of this recording, really, isn't it? Sis called the morning after the Watanagashi festival to tell me that the curse had struck again for the 4th time. Festival was the evil aunt who was harassing Satoshi-kun and Satoko. Satoshi-kun's suffering should be over now, since the problem was with Satoko and the aunt's relationship to begin with. Maybe I should have celebrated, but I wasn't in the mood for some reason. Do the police have a lead on the suspect? Sis went quiet when asked that. I don't know, Oishi seems to be questioning people in the neighborhood. He thinks the culprit is somebody close to the victim. Being identical twins, Sis and I think very much alike. But I suspect Satoshi couldn't have been a murderer, so would she. Because of this, I didn't have to mention the obvious. Does Satoshi have an alibi for that day? Satoshi, I mean. I don't know. I heaved a huge sigh. Wait, what? Are you stupid? He was at the festival. Didn't you see him there? Yeah, right. I'm sorry I didn't realize that. I heaved another sigh. Sis was stupid enough to forget to make an alibi for him, even though the murder of his aunt alone would raise enough suspicion. So that means he did do it. It's not important now. The problem is whether he has an alibi or not. Well, if police are going to come here later, I'll tell him I was with him at the festival. Sis, lying out of the blue like that won't work. If you haven't done anything to ensure his alibi, it's too late now. Please just be honest with him. I can't trust your acting skills. Might raise more suspicion if you make something up on the spot. Yeah, sorry. She sounded depressed. I was the one who should have been depressed. Mion usually handles things well, but she's not too good with emergencies. I was left worried for the future of the Sonozaki family. Mion must have been embarrassed. She soon changed the subject. I guess you haven't been able to work lately, have you? You're right, I haven't. Thanks to you. Sorry about that. I'll hide somewhere until tonight, so maybe you can work today. Sis has been appearing in public places during festival preparations and whatnot. As a result, I hadn't been able to pretend to be her. I hadn't been able to work. As someone who had to support her myself, it was a bit of a pain. To be honest, I didn't feel like working, but I couldn't afford to be sitting around either. When I locked my apartment door before leaving, the door of the next apartment door opened and Gasai appeared. Shion-san, are you heading out? Yeah, I'm going to work since Sis gave me time until tonight. Can you give me a ride? Shion-san, wouldn't it be safe for you to take a few days off? The police seem to be staking out the main house. I don't think it's a good idea to leave. I appreciate your concern, but I have to make money to survive. Guess I might suggest you donate money to my cause. However, I had sworn to myself when I started living here that I wouldn't depend on Kasai. While I don't obey anyone else's rules, I stick to my own. Kasai could tell that I was adamant in my decision. So after repeating himself a couple of times as a formal procedure, he decided to give me a ride after all. Every time we went to my uncle's store by car, we stopped at this traffic light. I knew it was going to happen again, but it still irritated me. Pedestrians passing by in front of the car. I was startled to see that one of them looked like Satoshi. It was him. Satoshi! What is it? Dum-da-dum. Well, whatever. It's just clearly spot them. But how will this develop? Find out in the next part. So, I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.